Hello, today I am joined with Heather Henderson. She's part of the psych faculty. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Heather Henderson. I'm a professor in psychology and within psychology in the developmental psychology area.
All right, and today we're going to ask her some questions to get to know her a little bit better, and we'll just get right into it. So the first question I wanted to ask is, what initially sparked your interest in psychology as a whole?
Okay. I actually do think about this a lot, especially because my oldest child right now is thinking about university. So we're having a lot of conversations about this. When I finished high school, I was really torn about whether I was going to pursue music or science as a major in university. And ultimately, obviously, I decided not on music. And I started my Bachelor of Science at McMaster University. I really enjoyed biology classes. I found chemistry interesting, but then for my first elective, I took psychology, and my mind was blown by how interesting and engaging every single topic was. And what I was really drawn to there, given my interest in biology, was the biological basis of behavior and of emotion. So in my second year, I took a lot more psych classes. And my mind was doubly blown when I took developmental psych, so the study of children, and specifically for me, the study of kids' social and emotional development stuck with me. I did an undergraduate thesis in a very pure perception lab, looking at how infants develop their visual capabilities and their ability to discriminate between different faces. And I loved doing research, but the topic of the research didn't stick with me. It was really tidy research. I had very precise measurement systems, but I couldn't, just the applicability of the questions I was asking to everyday life were quite narrow. So I took time off after undergraduate, and I worked as a laboratory coordinator for 3 different people in 1 year. It was a busy year, but I got turned in one of those roles into thinking more about kids' social development. And I knew right then that it was bringing together my interests in the biological basis of behavior and emotion together with my interest in developmental psych. And that's what started me down the road that I did do in graduate school. In my master's work, I focused on kids' friendships and peer relationships. And then to learn more about the biological basis, in my PhD work, I focused on psychophysiology in children's early temperaments, how they respond to new situations. And so the work in my lab really blends those 2 lines of research to look at individual differences in how kids react to new situations, how they behave in new situations, and how that changes their experiences with other people over the life course.
Would you like to describe a more specific area of your research?
Sure. So as I mentioned, I'm really interested in kids' temperament, so the beginning of kids' personalities. And within that, what I'm interested in is how kids respond in new situations. So in any community sample, even across species, actually, you see a normal distribution of how much people like new things and new social situations. So some kids we see absolutely love new situations, and they smile and they laugh and they run in and they jump around and have a great time. The kids I'm really interested in are the kids who aren't so sure about new situations. So something that we colloquially refer to as shyness. I'm really interested in understanding the development of shy children over time. And specifically, I'm really interested in the kinds of relationships they have. So when I was doing my graduate work, a lot of people studied shyness as a way of understanding the precursors of some forms of psychopathology like social anxiety. And through a lot of different studies and collaborations I've done, my thinking has really changed over time to try to focus on some of the real strengths that shy or withdrawn people have. So for example, we have found that kids who are shy actually understand other people's emotions really, really well because they spend a lot of time watching other people. We also think that shy kids are actually really good friends with their very closest friends because they listen, they pay attention, they are empathic. And so we're really trying to flip the paradigms that we're doing to try to think more about the positive traits that go along with shyness for some kids. So one of the studies we're doing right now that I really like is usually people look at shyness at one point in time, and they look at all the ways that shy kids don't engage in environments. What we're doing right now is an online study where we're pairing together two children who have never met each other and getting them together every 2 weeks for 3 times, so over 6 weeks. And what we're looking at is how quickly kids increase in their ability to connect with the same person over time. We think that that's a parallel to the beginnings of friendships in young kids. And so we're seeing some really interesting data that, yes, indeed, they start off very withdrawn, but when you watch them over time, they rapidly increase in their level of comfort. And in turn, I think the other kids that they're interacting with become more and more open and connected to those children as well. So we're really enjoying tracking over a short period of time change in the relationships that shy kids are able to have.
Yeah, that's some very interesting stuff. And I think to finalize the interview, you sent us an image of your dog Franklin. So would you like to talk about him for a little bit?
I would love to talk about Franklin. So Franklin is our Bernedoodle. He is, he'll turn 1 at the end of this month, actually. So he was a pandemic dog for our family. And he is a bright light. He is full of love and really affectionate and just a gentle giant kind of dog. They told us he would be medium sized, but he's already close to 80 pounds and he's not a year yet. So I think he's going to be big. That's why I call him a gentle giant, but he's just a beautiful pup. In the picture that I sent you, he really enjoyed the pandemic because my husband worked from home. I worked from home. Our teenage son, Will, who's 17, worked from home. He did school from home. And our daughter, Sammy, who is 14, was at home. And so he got a lot of attention. But now that we're all going back to school and to work, I think he's missing everybody. So the picture I sent you was one where he likes his favorite spot to sleep is at the front door where everybody piles up their shoes and boots in our house. And he sleeps with his head in the kids' shoes while they're at school, waiting for them to come home. So I think Franklin misses his people, but he gets lots of love when we all get home at the end of the day now.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you for taking the time to answer some questions. It was lovely talking to you.
It was great to talk to you. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.